electric train. The electricity comes into your house so that it pushes your voltage so that it can burn up burn up the wires in the train. The transformer will make the push or voltage and wires weaker. How does a transformer make, the push weaker? The transformer is made of layers of iron and two different wire structures that do not touch each other, which one wire is high voltage and the other one is wrapped in layers that match the turns of the hertz coming from the wall. It connects the train with tracks. When you plug a transformer and start the train, the electricity comes through a high voltage wire. The electricity makes the pull, like a magnet, and then it pushes the low voltage through the lower wire through induction. Then the electricity does not have much to push, so the train can run without burning up its wires. I mean, this book is probably from like 1970. So what about that? Wow, I read a book.
Okay, you read a book. Wow.
Sorry if I keep getting phone calls.
No worries.
The dude that's about getting an RV on my property for over a year is finally trying to come get it. And I already sold it. And I already claimed it out from underneath him because he abandoned it. I used the county. He doesn't realize it. He doesn't know. But he lost his RV.
Damn.
Well, it's been over a year that he abandoned it here. He only had 5 months to keep it here. He passed the 5 months a year ago.
Yeah, well.
Like almost a year and a half now.
You could let it go. You could just give it back to him.
I did. I sold it.
I know, but is it still there?
Yeah, it's still here.
Wow.
But I'm getting paid for it now.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do if he's all pissed off?
Shoot him in the leg if he comes over here and starting shit?
Well, I wouldn't shoot him in the leg.
Well, in the state of Georgia, if you shoot somebody below the waist, you can't get charged with murder. You can only get charged with assault with a deadly weapon, and it has a maximum penalty of 5 years.
Yeah, but why don't you just don't talk to him and then put him in touch with the new owner and say, you're going to have to deal with this, and then say, what's your email?
The new owner doesn't want to sell. It's his now.
I get it. But what I'm saying is you have
legally.
Well,
if he wants to come over and start shit, I'll just call 911 and then I'll fucking come over and fuck with him.
See, this is where my consulting ends, and I just quote Tony Soprano and I say, fuck it. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, well, I mean...
It's the best way to end a debate is to just quote Tony Soprano. Fuck it!
Fucking do whatever you fucking want.
Do whatever you want. Fuck it!
You're a fucking mooly over here. You're a fucking mooly.
There's no debate. It's a waste of time. I have officially, technically, competitively reframed this app, and every room is a subtitle now. It's called Low IQ Dumb People Talking About Nothing, Wasting Time. And if you don't think that that's what's happening, you're even dumber than the low IQ people. Welcome Roma to the room. Or Rome, I should say. Oh, and David wants to say something too. Wow. Also, Austrina is in the All-Seeing Eye room. Welcome, David. I'm doing excellent. Rome, did you want to say something?
Do you want me to leave?
No, what did you want to say? What do you want to talk about?
Oh, I don't know, man. Did you kick me out, or what happened?
I didn't kick you out. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Yeah, I don't know. It just, like, I had something came up on my phone, and I was kicked out of the room, so I don't know what happened.
If you were kicked out, David, if you were kicked out, you wouldn't be allowed back in this room until he opened up a new room.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Well, thanks for telling me that. Shit. Oh, cool. Hey, man, I don't know. I don't really have anything I want to talk about, per se. I just thought this was an interesting room, and I like movies and popcorn, so...
Yeah, I like movies and popcorn, too. It's a nice way to spend 2.5 hours.
So, like, you were on here already talking. Like, are you doing like a podcast while you do this?
I am, yeah. I'm live streaming this on multiple platforms, and I've got 4 Clubhouse rooms open. Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. I saw that room you had, the idiot something room.
Low IQ, dumb people talking about nothing, wasting time.
Yes, dude. I didn't go into that room the other day, but like, what is that room talking about?
I believe that technically, based on philosophy and the Tao Te Ching, that all of these rooms are essentially dumb, low IQ people talking about nothing. Because if you know, you don't say, and if you say you don't know, the more you think, the more you speak, the further from the truth you get. So technically, every room is in default error. Make sense?
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. That makes sense, man.
Yeah. So it's a trap. Every room is technically a trick. That's my theory. It's not even a theory. I think it's like pretty accurate actually. Because think about one thing that is actually intelligent. Think about 2 things. One, what is an actual intelligent thing you've ever heard uttered on this app? And 2, what was the fucking second thing? What's any actual outcomes as a result of all the conversations and all the talking? Nothing. It's just spun wheels. So kick rocks and shut the front door.
Well, I disagree with that.
Okay.
I would definitely disagree with that.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I've had many, enlightening conversations where I had a point of view where I was completely incorrect, and then I was, taught the truth of the matter. So I find that, knowing the truth from some of these conversations is definitely beneficial, not just on trying to get a dopamine kick out of the damn thing. I'm trying to come to resolutions on understandings. So I do find it, quite valuable in my daily conversations.
Okay, but I would like to ask you a follow-up question. Can you repeat the 2
Sure.
points that I just made about, these rooms and these
What?
apps?
Yeah, what did I find, valuable that I ever had a conversation about would be point 1. And then point 2, what was the outcomes
Mhm.
of that conversation that you were able to derive that actually was beneficial in your real day-to-day life?
Yeah. So is what you just responded with, does it address either of those?
It responds to both of them in one statement.
Yeah. Okay, but then what's the evidence? What's the example?
Because I feel better for having had the conversation.
But that's not specific. That is not. I need something specific.
Well, it's anecdotal.
It's too general to even be. Again, it's just. It's about nothing.
Well,
It's
too
nothing.
general for you, but it makes sense to me. I don't have to.
You may
describe my
know
belief system
it.
to you.
You may
I
know
don't have
it,
to describe my belief system to you, bro.
but if you can't actually tell me something, then you're not telling me anything.
I have to.
Okay, well then again, this is where I go Tony Soprano and I say, "Fuck it, do whatever you want."
Then fine, we can agree to disagree, but just because my belief system doesn't match yours doesn't mean that either of us are wrong.
But we agree that the more you think, the more you speak, the further from the truth you get. Correct?
Yeah, and all you're doing is making subjective statements about belief systems, because the belief systems are not objective, they're subjective. And it all has to do with your feelings.
Yeah, but I mean, again, the more we think, the more we speak, the further from the truth we get. So it
Well, before you
ultimately.
say that, I agree that you're getting away from the truth because you're using that as a derivative to disengage from an actual conversation.
I know, but again, it goes back to the subtitle of every room, which is low IQ dumb people talking about nothing, wasting time. This is a double-edged sword
Does
where
that make me low IQ because I'm having conversations with people?
no, what I'm saying is that the self-reflective after action ready review is that we have to actually analyze ourselves and say, am I a dumb low IQ person talking about nothing, wasting time? I'm serious about that. Like, I'm not saying I don't feel like I'm at the intellectual.
So I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Would you agree that there are degrees to the intelligence?
It's all subjective, objective. It's objective, subjective.
Objectively, you can have Sheldon that knows everything.
To title something,
Can I answer your question? Can I answer your question,
low
sir?
IQ people, how are you getting that basis of their low IQ? Where are you comparing their IQ
To the highest IQ.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but
you would agree that there's degrees to
again,
IQ.
I know you hear me talking.
Go ahead, Don.
When you're talking about IQ, okay, yeah, you have Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. That dude knew everything about physics and everything about science, but he couldn't, like, emotionally, the EQ of his intelligence, he didn't understand how other people's feelings were mixed in the thing, because he didn't take into consideration other people's feelings. Now, does that make him intelligent? No. Just because he knows how to build an atomic bomb doesn't mean that he knows how to, like, have a normal fucking conversation. And I don't think that's intelligence. That's what makes it subjective.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, because like with something like morality or ethics, that has nothing to do with intelligence. You can have someone with the highest IQ that has a horrible morality or ethics, or somebody with a low IQ that has good ethics. Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, but don't you agree that high IQ equals high EQ?
I don't even know what EQ is.
It's emotional intelligence versus intellectual intelligence.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing, man.
No, because no, they do not correlate. The thing is like there's some people that can do one thing really good. There's some people that do another thing really good. There are very few people that do both very well.
It's so abstract. It's hard to wrap your head around it. But what I'm implying is that the higher your intelligence, you should have wisdom, not just like career, job, technical capabilities, or career or certificates and credentials and prestige. I'm talking about if you study wisdom, the outcome is always emotional intelligence. And if you look at that movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, I believe that what that movie is infinitely saying is that when you are stuck in a time loop, the way to get out of it is essentially to let it go, meaning that you're no longer angry, and in fact you fall in love. And so this is the other, I guess, thing about all communication being hypnosis, is one of the only true things in life is the love of a good woman. Everything else is essentially vanity. And so
Yeah, I like that. Nice. Love of a good woman. Like that. Nice.
it's true. I mean, if you've ever been in love with a good woman, everything else is insignificant. It's
very true.
it's
The
inferior.
whole world could be on fire. It's just you and hers. Everything's good.
Yeah, and so there's a saying in Zohar that the Blessed Holy Ancient One only exists in the presence of a man and a woman. So if you ever see two faggots or a tranny, just know that they are living a lie and essentially hypnotizing you with a false philosophy. The real philosophy is always the nuclear family. The man, the woman, the child. That's it. That's the most sacred symbol there is.
I like so the way I look at it, and I agree with that. I think the greatest success for humanity is the male, female, child, family unit, however that encompasses itself. I think that's the greatest chance of humanity's success.
It's the Trinity.
Also, I look at it as male and female. You got men typically are good at certain things, not at others. Men are typically good at analytical solving things, but not good at emotional things. Women tend to be the opposite. Women tend to handle emotional things well, but have trouble separating emotion from analytical or something like that.
I would say 180 degrees out from that. Men are way more emotionally, intelligent than women, because men will bear and grin the chagrin, version of life, and we'll just grin and bear it, and we'll go provide. We'll wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, go work and provide and do what we do, without like care for our own emotional, understanding, or acceptance. But women will be very vocal about it, and they'll tell you exactly what's on their fucking nasty mind, and I think that men actually end up being more emotionally, understandable or intelligent when it comes to emotions, is because we know how to grin and bear it and hold it to ourselves rather than say everything that's on our nasty fucking mind.
Right. So I do agree that men tend to hold in their emotion, women tend to express their emotion. But I would say I disagree with the emotional. I guess the EQ of the male here. To me, a male that holds in all of their emotion their whole life, eventually that builds up at some point and it gets released, and that usually isn't a good thing for that male. Higher EQ male would be more vocal, not as vocal as a woman, but be more vocal, communicate, and find ways to deal with his emotion. Most men deal with their emotion through physical things, like a vigorous physical activity, like going on a hike, going on a hunting trip, doing martial arts, doing a sport.
Dude, I like watching anime in front of the TV with crocheting, and I'll crochet like a beanie cap. We're not all the same. We all let it out different. But just because men hold it in doesn't mean that they bottled it up and now they're gonna pop like a beer can being dropped off a third floor building. Like we're not like that's the exception, not the rule.
No, I would disagree. I mean, I would say majority of mental health professionals would agree with what I said and disagree with what you said.
Okay. What? I don't know what version of psychology you're referring to. Behavioral health, or are you talking about classical conditioning? The stages of development, like Freud's oral anal thought latency genitalia, or classical conditioning with Pavlov's dog, or Harlow's monkey. Nature versus nurture. What level of psychological, because I minored in psychology, sir. So, I mean, don't tell me that what most, psychologists would say, and then, don't back it up with any fucking, excuse my language, any kind of facts.
Okay, so thinking of the United States of America currently, right now, a lot of men don't know how to deal with their emotional stress in healthy ways, and they seek out unhealthy ways like drug usage, alcohol usage, or violence, and just other negative, bad ways to deal with emotional stress. Oftentimes, they don't even realize that they're doing these things because of emotional stress.
You're not making a point, though. You're not making a point. I was ex-military. I was a veteran. I got fucked up and downrange and all that shit. I came back with PTSD. I agree. I'm an alcoholic. I do it in unhealthy ways. I drink alcohol every fucking day. I admit it. So what's your point? Do you think I'm not emotionally, mature? Or is it the fact that, I don't meet your standard of morality or ethics in order to be what you consider a healthy mind?
No, it's not a matter of what I think of morality or anything. It's not a matter of morality or ethics.
You're the one making the claims.
So you just self-admitted you drink alcohol every day. Would you consider yourself an alcoholic?
100%.
Would you agree that you probably have some trauma, a lot of trauma from your great service to your country?
Yes.
Would you agree that you're dealing with maybe your drinking has a correlation with your trauma?
100%.
All right. So would you agree that a healthier way to deal with it would be to mitigate your drinking to one day stop drinking and somehow work on your trauma so you don't have to drink?
Yes.
Exactly. So you just proved my point. So
No, I didn't.
you're experiencing the same thing
That did
millions
not prove your
of
point.
soldiers and veterans are experiencing, and God bless you all. And I'm here to help if I can. Talk therapy.
You're not.
I'm here.
You're not listening to what you're asking, and you're making conclusions based on my answers of yes and no, 100%. Like, you've never touched me. For you to be a diagnoser of anything that's going on with me would make you unethical, because you've never touched me. You've never done my blood pressure. You don't know what my oxygen is. You don't know what, my heart rate is. Like, for you to even diagnose without ever touching me is the most unethical thing you do in the medical field. And then for you to think that you are more, like, intellectually, appropriate or emotionally, intellectually above, dude, even with my faults, doesn't mean that, like, I'm any less than you. It just means that I self-admit that I have faults and I make choices, and these are the things that I do in order to compensate. And what you think is good for your life and what you're convicted by is not what I'm convicted by. So please do not put your convictions upon me.
All right, I'm not, and I'm not talking about me. I'm just trying to help a situation. So it's how do I put this? It's a historic thing in the United States and in most Western nations, but definitely the United States, that men overall, if you're a male, this is pretty much a fact, we're never taught how to deal with emotional things. We're just taught to suck it up, and that's that. What we know about human emotion and male and
That's a
female
good
now
thing.
would enlighten us to take different approaches. Instead of saying just put it all away, maybe do some jujitsu, and while you're doing the jujitsu, that physical rigorous activity, you're actually doing mental therapy on yourself and you're not even realizing it.
Oh, so you're saying that when I joined the Army that it was physical and mental therapy?
No, I'm saying for males, for most men, through vigorous physical activity, males can better work through emotional things. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I believe that men are emotionally more intelligent than women. That was my point from the beginning.
No, it's not. I didn't mention anything about women. You did. I didn't mention anything about emotional intelligence.
It started with you didn't know what EQ was at the beginning, emotional, intelligence. Like, you didn't understand that, and then when we started talking about it, then you brought up the fact that women are more intelligent emotionally than men, and I disagreed with you, and I said men are better at it because they know how to bottle and contain it and deal with it. And then we go, and like you said, there are levels of outlets that we do that are healthy. Jiu-jitsu. I like to run. I go and run 3 miles every morning. I get that I live not a healthy life. I've smoked cigarettes since I was 17. I'll be 50 this year. So that's fucking 33 years that I've fucking been smoking. And I never quit except for when I was in basic training. So other than that, we all have our, how we deal with things, how we talk about things. But I would never claim, men are this or women are that, because then there's too much generalization. When I think of men, of all the people that have ever served in the U.S. military, any branch, since 1775, when the Army got started, we're a year older than the nation, because you wouldn't have the nation without the Army. From then till now, less than 5% of any American has ever been in any branch of the service. So when people start talking about what men are, and because I served in the military, I think about men from the military, and then you think of men, and I think you think of people like Destiny with blue hair.
No, I think you're projecting your own things onto me, but that's okay. That's fine. We all do this.
Okay, well, this is talk therapy, so it's supposed to be, reflective, meaning it's all about really nothing. It's low IQ dumb people talking about nothing, trying to
Well,
come.
I mean, he's low IQ dumb people because he's arguing about intellectual, like, emotional intellect versus, like, intellectual, and they're two totally different parameters. And we're literally just sticking with the emotional, and he wants to stick with the idea that women are more emotionally, intelligent than men are, and I call bullshit.
I don't think simply based on male or female, one's more emotionally adept than another. What I'm saying is men and women handle their emotional stress in different ways.
That was never in debate. That's an obvious truth.
Yeah, I agree with that. I should have started with that. That's what I really meant to say the whole time. That's my fault. I just think men and women, I don't think one or the other's more emotionally better than the other. I just think male and female have their own ways to deal with it, and women are not necessarily taught how to deal with it, but just in their life they deal with it. Where men aren't really ever taught how to deal with it. We're just taught suck it up.
I don't know how you were raised, man. I don't know how you were raised. Like, I'm much older than you.
Why do you need to know how I was raised?
Because that describes exactly why you believe what you believe. Like, generationally, I don't think that, the millennials, I don't think they're grown up yet. Like, I think that they're still fucking delusional, and that, they're not men. Because you got people like Destiny letting a man rail his wife on camera while he sits in the corner and jerks off, and he thinks that he's, like, influential in like, some kind of sphere. Like, what in the front door is going on?
I have no idea who that person is, and that's ridiculous for anyone to do that.
It's a blue-haired idiot.
It says a guy with blue hair right off the bat. It's kind of odd.
Okay, I would just like to remind everybody that the names of this room is Talk Therapy, Veteran Talk Therapy, and B Therapy Hypnosis.
I'm a veteran. I'm talking about my therapy. I go twice a month.
Also, the subtitle of these rooms is Low IQ Dumb People Talking About Nothing, Wasting Time. So
he's in the low IQ dumb room, and I'm in the over here, Veteran Talk Therapy.
It's an invisible subtitle. The point is, the more we think, the more we speak, the further from the truth we're going to get. Stop talking and end your problems. Thank you all very little, and God bless. We'll call you. Don't call us. This has been Talk Therapy. Oh, he left.
Well, you were closing the room down, he thought.
I know. I tricked him.
Psych?
I tricked him.
They don't even remember Psych. I got some ice cream and you can't have none. One lick. Psych.
What movie is that from?
That was Eddie Murphy. I think it was Raw.
Damn.
Remember when he was like wearing a black and white Michael Jackson looking leather outfit when he was on stage?
Yeah. That was amazing.
The first one was when he was in blue, and that was delirious. That was when he was doing all the poop jokes. He's like, have you ever had a ghost shit? You take a nice healthy shit, and it fucking comes out, and you look in the toilet, and it's gone because it just went down the toilet. And then you look, there's a ghost shit. And you took a shit, but it's gone. You don't even have to flush.
It's disgusting. It's funny.
Yeah, well, that was delirious. And then Eddie Murphy Raw was when he was doing all the raunchy shit. It was interesting, though. But, yeah, man, I've been thinking about that whole the more you talk, the further away from the truth you get. I don't necessarily agree with that in its entirety.
How so?
Well, because I find peace and solace and understanding through communication. And I can't have that peace and solace without the communication. So I think that peace and solace comes from understanding the truth from communication. Does that mean anything? Because that's how I feel.
I think it's like basically a relativity thing where it gives you another perspective to contemplate communication because so much of your life is just communication. It's unbelievable how much time our brains spend in never ending, repetitive, useless, ineffective, waste of time communication, which has nothing, brings nothing to bear on the situation. It's just a fucking like abyss, basically. It's a black hole.
Oh my god. I just like the idea of having communication is to be able to understand different ideals. Do you think that like you're born with all the right ideals, and when you allow people to talk, you know, in your life, you're letting their like information through your gates of your ears into your temple, and they're corrupting what you already knew to be true? Am I being outlandish, or are you on the other line? Dark-skinned women, self-hating wig.
Okay, this has been another one of those fascinating low IQ dumb people talking about nothing, wasting time. That's right, that's my podcast. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm gonna play some Dao De Jing for you. Maybe we'll just do this instead.
T-Robs is here. She's still dead. He's obsessed with me. Licking me arse hard after a hot, sweaty night at the nightclub. What was she thinking? She reinitiated sex by licking me arse hard, then I fucked her raw. It's hot, sweaty, passionate sex after the moment she decided to stick her tongue in me bumhole. Oh, the life of a leprechaun. Such unexpected things are coming back from the nightclub and of course licking my arse. Now I'm selling the luxury real estate on the interwebs. Things are finally going my way. I'm gonna find my pot of gold and my parents are gonna respect me again because they think I have a job. But I'm just gonna keep coming on here and talking about the J words, the Z words, the N words. Never read a book. I'll post some cool stuff every once in a while from the BBC about paying off old fucking charity bonds from World War I. Some good intelligence. Yay, a little bit. First intelligent thing I've ever seen you post in my life. Is that the best that a Northern Irishman can do? I doubt it. Never read a fucking book. Coding on ChatGPT. Sam Altman. So gay. I really don't like Sam Altman. But I also, maybe I really don't like Sam Altman. There's something about him. It's all that Elon Musk hates him, like with a passion. I have filmed many things. Okay, so I'm going to read from the Tao Te Ching to prove to you that you're stupid, and that every room on this app is low IQ dumb people talking about nothing, wasting time. And there's no other way around it. That is exactly what is happening here. 999,000 out of every 100,000 rooms created on this dumb app every month are about nothing. And it's dumb, low IQ people talking and wasting time about nothing. Truly nothing. Like I could go to Burger King and take a whiff of a burger coming out of a grill, and that has more value than anything that has ever been spoken on this stupid app. It's the dumbest, lowest IQ people in the world. It's basically like a collection of disabled people, dinner for schmucks. That's the way I would describe it. Lunch for schmucks, breakfast for schmucks. Dumb, low IQ people talking about nothing, wasting time. Prove me wrong. Really isolate at least 3 intelligent things you've ever heard on this app. Can your memory even generate a memory, 3 memories of intelligent things you've actually heard on this app that actually compelled you to change or take action or anything useful? No, you didn't. You never have. And it's really just a lot of emotional vitriol and insane mood swings and stupid people that want to get their dopamine. That's it. So thus, those who know do not say, and those who say do not know. So silence is the secret. I've made a lot of money in silence. I've never made a lot of money having a lot of conversations. Never in my life. All the times I made money, I sat in my apartment on my computer, clicking in silence, creating, taking photos, emailing back and forth with a designer, uploading, downloading, fucking looking at stats, going to the post office, mailing shit. Never ending. Fucking every day I was at the post office mailing 30 fucking envelopes. A lot of work. Assembling all that bullshit. I don't want to do that anymore. Now I'm in the paperless business of hypnosis communication, reminding everyone how stupid they are and that they're low IQ. To try to get their attention, to make them realize he's right. Maybe I'm not as smart as I think I am. Maybe I could improve my intelligence, my emotional intelligence. Is it possible to actually become smart? Do I have to go to college and sit there and pay a university 100,000 fucking pounds to read a fucking book? No, motherfucker! I can read a book. I don't need to pay 100,000 fucking pounds. I can buy a book for $5. And that book might be better than that whole fucking $100,000. That's my opinion. But what do I know? I'm just a leprechaun.
Okay, I'm gonna let this run, but I'll read you the 44th, 45th verses of the Tao Te Ching, and then I'm jumping into my peppermint bubble bath. This is called "Which is more precious, fame or health? Which is more valuable, health or wealth? Which is more harmful, winning or losing? The more excessive your love, the greater your suffering. The larger your hoard, the heavier your losses. Knowing what enough, knowing what is enough is freedom. Knowing when to stop is safety. Practice these and you will endure. The greatest perfection seems imperfect, yet its usefulness is endless. The greatest fullness seems empty, yet its usefulness is inexhaustible. Great straightness seems flexible, great skill looks clumsy, great eloquence sounds awkward. Movement triumphs over cold, stillness triumphs over heat. Clarity and tranquility set the whole world in order. When the world practices Tao, horses fertilize the fields. When the world ignores Tao, horses are bred for war. There is no greater calamity than desire, no greater curse than greed. Know that enough is enough, and you'll always have enough. Without going out the door, you can know the world. Without looking out the window, you can see heaven. The farther you travel, the less you know. Thus the wise person knows without traveling, understands without seeing, accomplishes without acting. In the pursuit of learning, every day something is added. In the pursuit of Tao, every day something is dropped. Less and less is done until one arrives at non-action. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. The world is won by letting things take their own course. If you still have ambitions, it's out of your reach. The sage has no set mind. She adopts the concerns of others as her own. She is good to the good. She is also good to the bad. This is real goodness. She trusts the trustworthy. She also trusts the untrustworthy. This is real trust. The sage takes the minds of the worldly and spins them round. People drop their ideas and agendas, and she guides them like beloved children. Between the births and the deaths, 3 out of 10 are attached to life, 3 out of 10 are attached to death, 3 out of 10 are just idly passing through. Only one knows how to die and stay dead and still go on living. That one hasn't any ambitions, hasn't any ideas, makes no plans. From this mysterious place of not knowing and not doing, he gives birth to whatever is needed in the moment. Because he is constantly filling his being with non-being, he can travel the wilds without worrying about tigers or wild buffalo, or he can cross a battlefield without armor or weapon. No tiger can claw him, no buffalo can gore him, no weapon can pierce him. Why is this so? Because he has died. There isn't any more room for death in him. by Devante the Bull. T-Robs, that's P. Diddy flying over a bull in Spain. It's a real video. Look at that shit. I don't know, I think it might be edited, that picture he has, but you can go on YouTube and actually watch the video of P. Diddy flying over a bull. That takes some fucking balls. Jesse White fucking Tumblr over there. Super Bowl rush. It's a Super Bowl rush. It's a Super Bowl rush. Okay, I'm just gonna read a little bit more Dao De Jing.